The great journalist of Nigeria, Dr. Kemi Amalulu. I'm also a clinical pharmacist, retired, and a PR specialist. I'm a former community activist. Yes, former. I'm just on light duties, but I want to elaborate on this recording for Kemi Talks investigation. Now, I know a lot about snitching, and I know a lot about police work, police brutality, and a lot more. But I live in the United States and Canada. Today is June 4th, 2020, in Lagos, Nigeria. Now, for some of you that feel that I'm getting too involved with the George Floyd case, I'm a journalist, so don't even worry about that. I have to do my work. Plus, I have 3 American children over there, and they're definite police targets, and I'm not going to let that happen. My voice is needed more over there. Here, I put my voice, you tell me to mind my business, that's life. Well, let's go back to George Floyd. In the beginning of this investigation, I wrote a write-up saying that there are some conspiracy theories here. Is George Floyd really dead? Was this whole thing orchestrated? Was it made up? Was it a ploy to get Donald Trump out? Was it a ploy to get blacks on the streets and everybody rioting and end up looting? Why did the wife divorce him? Divorce the police. Why did the police officer's wife divorce him? The Oriental guy in the video, some people said it was related to the wife of the police officer. And that's all I said. I had question marks. Has anybody even tried to investigate these things? Well, let's watch. I'm not investigating the case, but I'm seeing some things that are red flags. And as a damn good investigative journalist, many of you need to look at the angle that I'm looking at. Well, let's start. George Floyd, it is now known that he was COVID-19 positive. On April 3rd, 2020, the coroner's office, the medical examiner, the person that does the autopsy, in the full report I've read, it said that he tested positive for coronavirus, SARS-CoV-2, and this involves me because that was my assignment for WBAL television and radio in 2003. 2003. Everybody knows I was at the height of that. When COVID-2 came out, many people died in America. Several people who went to China for the holidays came back in January, and at that February time, the height of COVID-2 was big. People remember me and my newscast. You may not because you were a baby. Okay, my little boy, Rich KJT, was 2 years old. My mother had to come and pick him up from Nigeria to take, away because I was working 17 hours a day and I didn't want him at the babysitter that long. It was just too expensive and I wasn't seeing my child. During February 2003, a lot of you do remember, if you remember, the American residents who were Nigerians. I used to call Dr. Anthony Fauci every morning. My job at BAL was medical producer. As a medical producer, and I was also a pharmacist, you're the one that's supposed to call all the agencies in the morning before you put the newscast together for the anchors. The anchors are the people that read the news. So every morning I'll get on the phone and hello, Dr. Fauci, Kemi Olunloyo from WBAL. I need to know the latest on COVID-2, SARS, severe acute respiratory syndrome. Dr. Fauci will tell me what we have so far, and I will put the newscast together. Inside the newscast, you'll hear Dr. Fauci's voice. I'm going to bring one of my newscasts out. For those of you who don't believe me, I don't have to prove anything to you. I've had a glorious career in America. Nigeria is just here to kill your dreams. That's why none of the MSM here can hire me. They're all scared that the embassy will shut them down. That Kemi will talk against the presidency. That Kemi will talk the truth. Continue your bullshit. Okay? Continue your rape culture, your rape stories, your fake advocacy. When you get out on the streets and start protesting left and right, nobody told you to loot. You can loot and destroy stuff that belongs to South African businesses during xenophobia, but you can't go out and talk about rape and corruption and all that. back to Dr. Fauci, who will update me with everything going on. And then I'll put it in the newscast. I'll bring one of those out for you. I have all my work. I'm a good journalist. I archive a lot of things. That's why you see pictures of me. So those of you that put past glory, I have a good past glory. You have nothing. Okay? Fight your own fight. Going back to George Floyd, what I want to tell you guys is there's an aspect of that story. Everybody has their own conspiracy theory. Somebody looked at the garbage can next to the event. It had 666 on it. What does that mean? Does that mean evil is going to happen in that spot? Well, it did. Is George dead? Is somebody called George dead? Yeah. I now believe it. But was it premeditated? Was it organized? Was it orchestrated? This guy called for his mother. He was in between life and death. He was about to cross to the other side. Mom, help me, Mom. Whatever he said, he called for his mother. His mother's not alive. His mother's dead. When he called for his mom, he was about to hit the other side, where his mom was standing there waiting. And he crossed the other side. He died. The world is wicked. But my concern, and I'm going to put it out, if you get this video, it's a copyright work of mine. I'm giving everybody permission to download this video and share it. Okay? Download it and share it. But please don't upload it to YouTube. YouTube will delete your channel or strike you because it's copyright. Download it, share it on Facebook. If you can't download, it's very heavy. Okay, your credit will be gone, your data. Share if you're on Facebook. On Instagram, you can download and post to another Instagram. I'm giving you copyright permission, that's all. Every one of you needs to watch this video. I'm not making this video for Nigerians or Americans, I'm making it for the world. As an investigative journalist, and also as a snitch lady was my nickname in Canada. I know about snitching. You have to snitch for good sometimes, especially murders, gun violence in Canada. I encourage young people to tell the police who killed who. In the course of snitching, somebody snitched on George Floyd. I'll tell you how it happened. This is my mapping of events. Someone knew George Floyd tested positive for coronavirus on April 3rd. Who was that person? Aside from the test center or aside from the doctor? Some people work in the test center. They'll see your results. They'll go release it, which is a violation of health privacy. America has HIPAA, Health Information Portability Privacy Act. Who released that result in the lab and to whom? When the result went to George's doctor, who in the doctor's office released that result? We don't know. But a coroner or medical examiner, the autopsy guy, he has it in his full report. I saw it. They did a swab. Okay, U.S. journalist has copies of it, and I got it through my colleagues at the newsroom at BAL. Someone else knew. Who gave information to that supermarket that George had coronavirus and called the police? The police were called because he was writing a check, and that check, they said, was a bounced check. In America, you can verify a check up to a certain amount, but $20 check, you're supposed to deposit that stamp, you deposit it, and when it bounces, you'll call the person. $20 you can't verify on the spot. Everybody has ATM cards or even cash. But if he was writing a $20 check and you call the police for that, you already gave yourself out. That's wickedness. So, did the person in the supermarket call the police because that person had information that George was corona positive, COVID positive? That's the angle I want investigators to look at. I'm an investigative journalist, not an investigator. That's why I want you to share this video so the world can see it. That angle is very important. Someone in the supermarket knew there was somebody in that supermarket infected with COVID. Now, if you're infected with COVID, you're not supposed to be out there. Many of us in Nigeria are infected with COVID and are asymptomatic. That's the reason why we're all told to wear masks and protect ourselves. If you are carrying that virus in Lagos or anywhere in Nigeria, you may not even know. This is Nigeria where they don't even test us. 39,000 tested out of 200 million. Fights over test kits and all. So, what I want to say, many of us are carrying it. I'm sitting here, I don't even know if I have COVID-19. People come in my building to work all day, the new building I live, and I tell them, you're not wearing a mask, go out and wear one. You don't know where you'll catch this thing. Okay, 7 people died in 14 hours in Lagos 2 days ago, the 2nd of June. So, being asymptomatic, George Floyd will be the only other person that would know that he tested positive for COVID-19 and he was asymptomatic. I'm not sick. Just boost your immune system, take this medicine. But who knew that George was positive that told that supermarket? Technically, that's why the supermarkets are saying don't bring the whole family. Just one person or 2 people would do. Essential services only. Information was passed to the supermarket, so everybody in the supermarket needs to be interrogated. This is the way investigative journalism works. The investigators need to look into this. Was that why they asked the police to come and arrest him? His corona status, rather than his bounce check, if it even bounced a lot before or whatever, if it even bounced at all. Has George bounced a check in that same supermarket before? So you didn't want to take this one? If I was behind George Floyd that day, I would have paid for his $20 bill. I did it at Spar with a guy who stole alcohol and some biscuits. Oh my God, what they put this guy through. They detained him, that's their job. He started crying. I asked him who he was. He said he was from England. Somebody that went to the UK, got back home. And Nigeria just messed them up. He looked dirty. He looked, showed me his ID. And I told Spar, I said, life is short. You see what happened at ShopRite, how they tore up everything and trashed the stores? It could happen anywhere. Let me pay his bill. I've paid. Give him the damn alcohol and the biscuits and get rid of him. And that's what I did. I made sure he was far away from that store. Walked out. Something that's just not worth it. I would have paid for George Floyd. But I feel this is not a case about a bounce check. It was a case about someone in the store has coronavirus. You need to come out here. And then the police restrained him. What comes around goes around. God is good all the time. People, listen to Kemi Olunloyo. I am a very intelligent woman, and I brand myself the most intelligent woman in Nigeria. Why? Because I share intelligence. All your big degree holders. Okay, someone wrote on the internet and said, Kemi Olunloyo is more intelligent than Chinua Achebe. Chinua Achebe that write books, literature. Chinua is intelligent. The late man is intelligent with what he did. We all have degrees of intelligence. At least Chinua Achebe wrote books so that you can learn from them. What about some people that don't share intelligence or tell us how they made their money and help others? I've mentioned Obi, I've mentioned Linda, I've mentioned the finance lady who could have helped everybody. Young people on how to make money, finance seminars. What's her name? Ngozi. Next thing you know, she hates Igbos. I don't hate Igbos. You guys had me blocked on Instagram Live. It's 30 days today. They blocked me on Instagram Live. When I leave Instagram for you and go to Twitter, you'll see. Igbo had me banned on Facebook for 30 days. I complained over there and they made it 3 days. Do you know what 3 days banning is? When you're working online. That's why I'm not intervening in anything. My Instagram Live is still blocked. I'm going to do a campaign for Masari. I'm going to call Adam. I'm going to message Adam. Igbo girls. Guys, that's all it is. I'm minding my own business. But for George Floyd, it was about his corona. God is good. All those officers that were arrested now have to go get their coronavirus test. You placed a knee on somebody with coronavirus, Kai. You just infected yourself. Isolate in prison, Derek Chauvin.